Hey, good evening, afternoon, everyone. How y'all doing? Um, Someone's talking about the red mark on the SIM card. I know Delphi Dilemma was asking questions about that. Um, so this is what I found: the red mark on the SIM card. Okay, let me get to it here. Hey, Dubilis, how you doing? So the red liquid uh, contact indicator on the SIM card indicates that the device has been exposed to water. Now, this is a critical sign of potential water damage and should be prompt immediately action. The LCI is a small sticker that change color from white or silver to red when it comes in contact of moisture. If you see a red LCI, it means the liquid has entered the device. The Apple technician will recognize this as a liquid damage, which avoids standard warranty coverage. It's essential to turn off your iPhone immediately, remove any access, any gentle dry devices that prevents further damage. If the LCI is red, pink, or orange, it shows water damage. It's the best to have a device checked by professionals and assess the extent of the damage and determine the best of course of action. Now, here's another 7 signs of what to look for. Let me get to the 7 signs of the water damage. So 7 signs to check for water damage on your iPhone. One, well, remove the SIM tray, shine a flashlight onto the slot with the screen facing down, and check if the LCI inside is red, water damage, or white or silver, no damage. Other signs, such as your iPhone randomly restarting issue with this display or touchscreen, can also indicate water damage. If your speaker makes a crackling sound while playing audio, there's a possible water damage on your iPhone. How can you water? How can a water get into your iPhone? Well, water resistant on iPhones is tested a special condition, such as being submerged in the water for a limited time and at a significant depth. With those limits are exceeding, and if your device exposed to water prolonged periods, the water resistance can be compromised. Further, your iPhone has seal and gaskets around the opening, such as the charging port buttons and the SIM card tray to prevent water from entering. However, these seals can degrade over time or to be compromised by a physical damage, potentially allowing water to seep in. Um, Another possible of water resistance being compromised is when your iPhone is open during your servicing and repairing, and it's isn't sealed back properly. This can expose few gaps between the display and the body panel, allowing water droplets and moisture to seep in. If you suspect this unfortunate event among one mentioned above, look at below methods to check if your iPhone is damaged by water. Let's begin by checking your liquid contact indicated on your iPhone. So one, check the liquid content indicator for uh, LCI for water damage. So right here is where your charging port would be. Here's a different way to check if your iPhone is affected by water. Remove the SIM card tray on your iPhone. Hold the device with the screen facing down. Use a flashlight and project the light inside the SIM card slot. So if the LCI is red, the iPhone has been damaged by water. However, if the LCI shows white or silver color, the iPhone is not affected by water. While iPhones have built-in liquid contact indicators, the iPhone 14 and 15 models in the United States do not have an LCI since there isn't any SIM card slots. Therefore, you can check few other parameters in the following list. Now, 2, power issue. Now, if your iPhone turns off on its own and restarts randomly, might be water damage. Now, if water has reached the internal, it might interfere what circuits or connections, leading to the power supply issue. Further, you may not also notice issues while trying to change your iPhone, as your power supply might get interrupted. Now, 3, issue of display and touchscreen. So, water damage can interfere with the connection between this display and the internal components, leading to the problems integrate in display. Water can damage this display panel, causing pixel and malfunction and creating permanent discoloration, like this shows here, going haywire. We always see that purple lines and blue lines and stuff and mess up. Now, water damage can corrode the components responsible for black lighting, cause the screen to appear dim than usual, and furthermore, water damage may affect the touchscreen functions, resulting in the unresponsive area on the screen, along with behavior like false or ghost touch type deal. Now, 4, the camera damage of the camera. If water gets inside the camera sensor, you will also observe image to be softer than unusual, resulting a foggy output. Water can enter the camera modes if the internal components are glued properly during the service or repair. If you closely look into the camera lens of your iPhone, you may also find water droplets or visual moisture. Now, 5, distorted audio output. Now, when water gets inside your speaker grill, you may hear an audio output with distortion and crackling sound. If you can recognize any irregular with the audio output on your iPhone, it may be a sign that water has seeped inside the internal, causing some damage. Sensors, number 6, malfunction. Water can also damage your iPhone sensors. When it seeps into the internal of your iPhone, water can block or obstruct sensors, therefore affecting your functions. For example, Face ID on your phone may stop working. Water droplets on the camera lens sensor distorted or optional signal, leading to failure recognize attempt. So that's what this is showing right here. Further, water can also affect primary sensors, abundant light sensor, leading to issues such as the screen not turning on during the phone calls or incorrect brightness adjustment. Now, faulty, unresponsive buttons. If you cannot press the side buttons, volume, or touch the ID home button on your iPhone, chances are that water particles or moisture is stuck and has blocked these buttons. Water seeping into certain areas can disrupt the proper movement of buttons and making them sticky and difficult to press. So basically, this is what might have happened to either Richard Allen's phone he had with him out there, knowing that his phone did not work anymore. Because if he had his phone in that water, he's shorter than anybody else. So wherever he had his phone in his pocket, definitely it would be wet. If he had the iPhone, that's why nobody can't find his original phone. That's why the officers can't find his original phone, because he got his phone wet. It would not work anymore. And that's where you see a red mark on the SIM card. So basically, the phone's on Libby's phone reset itself somehow while out there. We know her phone was having problems before her death and it was refixed. If the phone was acting up then, if she got her phone wet before all this is why she had to reset her phone. And Richard Allen's phone disappeared that he had out there. Nobody knows what that is, because knowing that his phone, AT&T phone, means he had water in his phone, it would not work. So basically, the 7 signs on here on that phone of damage. This would happen. He couldn't use it, and if this happened here, he wouldn't be able to use that SIM card either. So that's and it'd be like this. This would be he couldn't use his touch buttons anymore. So this is why nobody can't find his phone, because he threw it away. He couldn't use it because it got damaged, it got wet, and if it's like this, like it said here, this type of damage, the lines through it, you can't touch it. So he figured to throw away the phone and stuff, knowing that it would lead to him in the first place. And especially you can't be able to hear anything. It will interfere the microphone, crackling sound. So that's where you have the crackling sound. That's where possibly why we couldn't hear Lily's phone very well of who's talking, because possibly she already had it got damaged somehow, got it wet somehow after they reprogram it, restart factory set. So there is a lot of questions between where's Richard Allen's phone that he threw away because his phone got wet, damaged. And that's a very good question, because hey Mustang, so yeah, Richard Allen's phone, he threw it away because, like I said, let me show. You just showed up, didn't you, Mustang? Let me show you. So, if this indicates a red mark, that means this is where liquid can contact indicated of water damage. Um, in Richard Allen's phone and Libby's phone. She got it wet through that water, and it can reset the phone. Like I said, it could possibly reset the phone. That's why it came back on. It reset itself. It got shut down because it got wet. Like I said, I read all this, and that's how all this would appear on Libby's phone and Richard Allen's phone. And especially if on this is what would happen to the phone right here. Can't push the button or anything or reset it because the damage on the camera. So being wet, it will be damage to the camera too. And so and then you got the crackling sound. Why we couldn't hear the voice possible. If it was still going when they got over to Ron Logan's property. If they couldn't hear the crackling sound, and they couldn't hear the person because it was recording at the time where their murders. We know that. So something happened once they start crossing the creek and they lost everything. She lost everything because they knew that it was being recorded. It was live. So the water damaged her iPhone and Richard Allen's phone. This is why there is no phone that Richard Allen had that day. It disappeared. So, hey, Louisa, how you doing? So it's very interesting to see because I'm gonna send this to my link here. Hold on, if I can. That way, where does it go? Share to my Facebook page. So there is potential of that it would cause problems, and that we can't hear things correctly, and that's why Rich Allen lost his phone, threw his phone away because his phone did not work because of the water. We know he's short, and that's how if his phone was in his pocket crossing that creek, since that creek was high, and that's why he got rid of the phone because it didn't work. It did not work. The phone was ruined and he threw it away. And that's what happened. Richard Allen threw his phone away because it didn't work. And like it says right here, how explained here is this. If this indicates the SIM card doesn't, if red indicates that it doesn't work. The SIM card tray on the iPhone is device facing down. So once that SIM card shows red, it doesn't work. Any other color, so if red on the iPhone has water damage, it would show. However, if it's white or silver, it's fine. But once it shows that red color, it's done. That SIM card is done. And then try to use the phone. It looks like this. You can't touch it or turn off your phone, it would not work. So this is where the touch screen functional would not work, unresponsive in the area in the screen, giving a error behavior like false or ghostly touch. It's done. It is done. So I will let you go. Come back and read whatever you need, and hey, thanks for all coming. I appreciate it. Julius, thanks for coming. Louisa, thanks. Mustang, thanks for coming. And I'll talk to you guys all later. Have a nice day.